Okay, so my studio is my garage, and this is kind of an example of about as much room as I have. On the left-hand side of this photograph, we built a bedroom for my son when he was 13 and he came and lived with us. So that's more than half of my garage, and then we have cabinets and stuff. And on the right, I've got a refrigerator, a freezer, and the washer and dryer. So normally what I set up two sawhorses and probably a 4x6 or maybe a 2x4 length piece of board that I use to shoot on. I normally use a studio stand, and you can kind of see that on the right hand side of the image here. So the equipment, I use either a Nikon D5, D810, D800E, or the Hasselblad 907X. I also use my Mia RB67 and my Hasselblad 500 CM. Lenses, they're various, but I normally use an 85mm tilt shift when I'm shooting with my Nikons.
Don't turn off all of them.
And then with the Hasselblad, I use either the 80mm 1.9 or the 123.5 macro lens. My lights, I have two Bowen 750 watt second mono lights. I have four 500 Bowen 500 watt second mono lights. And then, so this one here is a 750. And then I just now started using the Westcott FJ 400s. Nice thing about these is they're all battery operated, so it's very mobile, and I can take them. With the Bowen stuff, I have to have power, which isn't a problem in my garage, but it can be a problem in some places. And you gotta be doing this. You really need to have scrims, various sizes. I have one that was given to me that was store-bought, but the other ones I've made by myself. The one I brought with me tonight, it's made out of PVC pipe. I also have a 4x6 scrim that I made with a wood frame. That's really nice. And then reflectors. Andy, can you grab a couple of those reflectors that are over there? Oh, never mind, they're right here. So reflectors, I use anything from white foam core, the black foam core. These things are invaluable because they help you lighten the shadow side of the product, and you can really control the light with those. And then the triggers I use a pocket wizard system. They've never failed me. Probably got more than these than I know what to do with. These are kind of expensive. They're like 169 bucks a shot, but if you buy them used, you can get them for as low as $37, and they work, and they always work. I've never had them fail me. I can put them behind walls, and they'll still fire my strobes. Backgrounds, I usually use seamless paper. Normally, I will use a mid-gray, but I didn't have a whole lot of that, and so I just brought the white. And the nice thing about the white paper is you can make any color you want. You guys know how to make a white piece of paper black, right? Just don't put any light on it.
Right.
So if you want to use gels, you get your background far enough away where you're not contaminating it with any light. Put your gels on it, and you have vibrant color every single time. Miscellaneous stuff. We have gels, we have honeycomb grids, different size stop boxes, strip boxes. So I just brought a couple with me tonight. Not really to use, but to just show you guys. This is the 1x4 strip box with a grid on it. The grid really helps keep the light in one place. And then I got this 3-foot top box. I use this a lot in the product photography, but it really depends on what I'm shooting. So, and we'll kind of talk about that as we go on. My start in product photography, I spent 20 years as a photojournalist, working at the New local newspaper, and then from there I went to Los Angeles Bureau of the Associated Press. During this time, I became very good at pushing my film to get the correct exposures. I had never used flash, never, ever, ever. And after 20 years, I said, my God, I gotta do something, because all these guys now were using top box and taking orders and all this stuff, and I had no idea what to do. So after I left that profession and started shooting, I started getting into studio work and how to use flash. And I started with speed lights, and then I graduated all the way up. I began studying studio photography using Creative Live as a learning tool. And then I discovered other photographers who work that I really liked. I started studying their work. Tony Corbell, Don Giannetti, Joe Lida, Andrew Scavani, to name a few. So the first work, this was my first attempt at doing any product stuff. And in my garage door faces north. So you open that up and you've got beautiful light, and then get into your studio. So these are natural light shots of the suit here on the plate. And you know, they're not great, but they're not bad. They've got nice highlights and they listen a little bit. But like I said, I wanted to learn how to use strobe. So I bought my first light kit, and that was the two 750 watt second mono lights, which came with a 2x2 softbox, 36-inch light umbrella, and a case. And I since bought the Bone 500 lights. I had 4 of those, and like I said, I started using the Westcott FJ 400 lights, and I also have a 200 light, which is really good. My speed lights, I have several Nikon speed lights, and I have several Godox speed lights. And even when I'm shooting in the studio, I use speed lights because sometimes you just need a little bit of light on top of something to highlight it or to make a label show up. And the speed lights with the smooth are really good for that. So here's some examples of the work that I've done. The headphone shot, the wine glass, the wine bottle and glass, and then the tequila. The shot was done for the Coors Light shot, and I did that. You can see the bottom photograph. That's a fish tank, a 10-gallon fish tank that I have, and I basically have a blue gel on the back scrim that makes that nice and blue. And then I have 2 side lights that light up the camera when it's being dropped in the water. And all it is dropping it in and firing the camera at the right time. And sometimes I put a little plastic kiddie pool on the ground, the floor of the garage, because otherwise it gets pretty wet. But then one day I was at the store, and normally when I see bell peppers, the tops are the stems are gone. So these ones have these stems. I said, oh, I gotta get those. Yeah, the woman there, the cashier, thought I was nuts, but and then just the more work. We used to do a thing with the Santa Maria group where we would get together as pre-COVID, and we'd have somebody bring a product and we'd shoot it and see how we could do the best we could do. So one day, one of the guys brought this old light bulb that we've got thousands of them. I don't know what to do with these, so I think I'm gonna start shooting. And then I was asked to make an ad for a sports drink, and so I came up with the Gatorade one on the bottom, and that was just a 3-light setup with 2 egg lights and a front light, and then I did some brushes and Photoshop and transposed it onto a stadium background. I've been doing some liquor stuff. When you shoot whiskey, you gotta like the whiskey and make the whiskey show, and that's a lot harder than it sounds like. And products of cosmetics are really big. You get a lot of people asking you to shoot those, and there's another 4 shots that I've done, and then the wine shot. And the wine shot I had a one of my strokes, I had a red gel on it, just to give a little red hit of, red on the glass. And I play a trick on the line, and you can think that that's red wine. Because when you shoot red wine, the bottle is always black, no matter what you do to it, it always turns out black, but, that's just the way it is. And this is the same, exact same shot here, except with two different backgrounds. One with the black background, which is called dark field lighting, and the other is I'm shooting through the scrim. And then I have another light on a boom that's overhanging the blast, and it's got a snoot on it, and it's shooting down, lighting the what are those things called, raspberries. This is a friend of mine was leading on his one of his covers, and he found this camera that belonged to his grandfather, and Dennis is 70 years old, so that tells how old his grandfather was when he got this camera, and Dennis asked me to photograph it for him, so that's what he came up with. This camera dates back to right around the turn of the century, 1900 to early 1900s to 1905 or so. I have women's shoes. We get asked to do women's shoes a lot, and the thing with that is they want to see the heel, and they want to see the little strap and all that stuff. So, you know, you learn these different ways of doing them type of things, and food, and vegetables, and fruit, and that kind of stuff. And this is just one light with the reflector on the side. I use side light an awful lot when I do product photography. So normally with that, I start on the side, and then I move my light to the what they call the arc of duty, which is behind, and making shadows come forward, because it's more interesting look. There are shoes, you know, you have black shoes, so what you have to do, you have to show the highlights. And black is stuck up light, that you do not believe. And it's the bottle of Grey Goose. This was one of my gold medal award winners from last year, and this is just one light photograph and two black cards on the side of the bottle, and it came out really nice. And there's a setup on that, so I see I've got a speed light on top, which is lighting up the top portion of the bottle, and then I have the two black cards on the side that are actually the bottle is reflecting the black cards, and that's what gives us our shape on either side of the bottle, and then it's sitting on a piece of kind of edge aluminum, and I'm just using that as a to give a little reflection of the bottle there on the bottom. I have since then I've learned how to do that in Photoshop, so I can do it on these flat now. It actually looks even better in this stuff. But then when I started doing the fruits and vegetables and stuff, started playing around with, you know, how can I make these mushrooms stand up? And so, you know, of course, you got to put a wooden dowel through them to make that stand up, and get rid of that. In Photoshop, that's not really not that difficult to do. Just I was asked to do a photograph with this bottle of Irish Spring and come up with something kind of different. So I got this in an aquarium as well, and I had green filters hitting the top of the aquarium. So this is actually upside down, and I've got a piece of plastic. It's not tubing, but it's square, and I hot glued it to the back of an Irish Spring bottle, and I put it in the fish tank, and then I clamped it so it's filled up, and then I took water from a measuring cup glass, and I just poured that around, and that's how I got the bubbles. So And then, this was another cosmetic thing that was asked to photograph, and the one we photographed the brushes. And, this was done on, black piece of plexiglass. And, believe it or not, the plexiglass is very expensive. So I found that I could go to Home Depot and get a piece of plastic, clear plastic, paint one side black, let it dry and use that, and it works great. And that cost like $20 instead of $70 to $100 for the real plexiglass. It's good like dust, but good for real stuff. That's and then another core shot that has to do. This one was a practice shot on shooting something that was highly reflective. And so this was a copper teak kettle, and it's cups that came with the set. And I ended up shooting this in my office, and I'll show you the next photo is the setup. So I put the scrim outside, and then I used this light, and I shine that through to make it look like it was sunlight coming in to the room. And this is the result that I got from that. I thought it turned out really nice. So, and then I was asked to do a four spread promo for a coffee shop, and we actually ended up doing this in my kitchen, but this is very similar to the stuff that they use. So, and the setup for that is just one light, the 4-foot octabox behind the set, getting the light through everything. Then I had a E flat on this one side, and then a smaller reflector on the other side. Back to the cosmetics again. This was another example of the black field lighting, and so this is, I've got the scrim, and I've got a piece of black foam core in front of the scrim, and then I have this product on that little square piece of plastic again that I glued to it, and I've got that held with the clamp, and then I have two white cards, and the light comes around the black, and hits the white cards and lights up the side of the other product. And there's some more examples of this practice shots that I did. The asparagus, of course, had a string tied around it, and I got rid of that Photoshop. I did another one with the mushrooms with just I think I was using the metal spike as once with those. And clean that all up in Photoshop as well. The broccoli was able to stand up by itself, and I was able to make a clean cut. So, and the strawberries dipped in chocolate, and that was done with a metal rod going through that, and we'll just clean that up in Photoshop afterwards. And then some examples of dragging the shutter and trying to make this stuff look like it's being lit by the candle. I think the one on the left did a little bit better because I did a little bit longer, better speed on that, and really let the ambient light take over. I didn't quite get as much as I wanted to on the one on the left, but it still looks pretty nice. So, you know, that wasn't just turning on all the lights and letting the strobe go, and I think I did about a 30-second exposure on my shutter, and it's just let the ambient light go into the frame or onto the sensor. So again, this was another cosmetic deal, and I did this on that same piece of aluminum that I shot that bottle on. These are really tough because you got to work really hard to get the reflections out of the top part of the lipstick there when it was really shining. I use this scale quite a lot. This was on salt that we've got friends up in Bellingham, Washington, and this is one of their products. So I did some stuff with them, and did about 5 different instances for them, and they just loved it. And they use that now to advertise their salt. So it worked out well for me, it worked out well for them. graphics on the wine bottles, and you really want to get a nice graduated highlight like we have here on this. It's not hard to do once you figure out how to do it, but you can spend 2-3 hours shooting the bottle just to get it right. And then once you get the highlight right, then you got to worry about getting the label right, because they pay a lot of money for their labels, so they want to see all that. You can also do portraits in a small studio with out of a lot of space. This guy's name is Dennis. He's a retired 45 years in the Air National Guard as a photographer. When he became a photographer, the first camera they gave him is what he learned photography on. So when he retired, they gave him the camera. So he asked me to take a portrait of him, and this is what we came up with. And this is one light with a go card on the lights coming from the camera left, the go card is on the right side. And then you can even get a little more creative. And so it's the same space. My grandson was big time in Harry Potter, and so it's one of the shots that we came up with one night for that. So let me show you some of the ways that I set my light up, and that will kind of conclude this presentation part, and then you can spend the rest of my shooting. So the photographers that work at Bon Appetit, they were told that they can shoot in the studio, that's no big deal, but they got to make their light look like natural daylight. So they come up with this way to do that, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. And this is the way I probably do 85 to 90% of my product stuff. And like I said earlier, this side is now going to be blocked. So you guys might want to move over a little bit.
Can you hook that in your pocket and just stick it on your lookout?
All right, that works. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take this B flat, and I got the white part of the B flat is going to be pointing towards the set. All right, and then I'm going to take my light, and what I do is I take my light and I point it into the B flat. And so what's going to happen is it's going to illuminate the B flat, and then it's going to send light back out this way towards the set. But I'm going to soften that one more time.
I'm going to try and follow what he's doing over here.
Andy. So these are just background stands, and I got a pair of Lowell grips to use for plants, and that works really well. So now I have the light bouncing into the B flat. It's going to shoot through the screen,
Picture.
and it's going to light whatever product I have.
Can't do that. We can't,
So
because he's using. So are you done with your computer part?
yes, I am done with it.
So I guess I can hook the HDMI back up.
You want to take that out?
Well, I was gonna switch the.
Yeah, so they can
HDMI
see.
over.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's done. The only problem is when I shoot, I'm shooting tethered.
Oh,
That's-
okay,
That's why we had
never
that.
mind. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's why we had that in. All right. You can give me the hand.
Log in the Zoom broadcast.
Huh?
Log in the Zoom broadcast.
I'm broadcasting it right here. They're seeing,
Oh.
people on Zoom are seeing this. That's what they're seeing. But the sound hasn't been being so good.
Okay, the first thing I do when I start shooting is I get my light source as close to the product as I can get it. And what did I do with it? So I was in Scottsdale last weekend or two weeks ago now, and we went to this antique store, 43,000 square feet. I mean, this thing is huge. And so the first thing we did, we saw this 100-year-old desk that's like 8 feet long and I don't know, almost 4 feet wide. It's got a drawer, and then it's got 2 drawers and then 2 filing cabinets. And it started out being on sale for $500. I got it for $139. The only problem was I had my portrait with me, so I had no way to get it home. So I have to go there this weekend and pick it up with my truck now, but that's okay for $139. I'll go get that.
That's right.
That was really, really cool. So anyway, I picked up these 2 cameras. So I thought, because we can't get too elaborate tonight, because we don't have the time, I thought we would photograph either one, maybe both of these. So we'll start with the smaller one first. So I always try to like to get my light as close to the product as I can. And the reason is I gotta plan a little something. The reason is the closer the light source is to the product. So this is going to be a very big light source. This camera is pretty small compared to it, so it's going to be really soft light. I'm a big time soft light guy. I just love soft light. And the reason I started as close as possible is because if I do it further away, I'll never move it closer. So I'll never know what it could look like as close as possible. So this way I can shoot, and if I can say, if I don't like it, I just move it back. And until I get the light looking the way I want it to look. Let's see if I can see how I can do this.
Ooh,
This one, the first camera was dated 1938. This one was dated between 1905 and 1915, I think is what the card said. So. Okay. So the nice thing about this is actually more room right here than I have to set up my lights in my garage. My garage, I'm probably right here. So we'll start with this and see what we get. And,
now, did you make that B flat yourself, or is that
This
one of the
one I bought. I have made them myself.
from B flat world?
Yeah, this is from B Flat World. One was like $200, but if you got 2 of them, it was like $235. They were on sale. So I said, all right, I get 2 of them.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. You know, they're okay, but the Velcro on the back isn't the best thing. I think they could do better with that. But it's great because they fold down and you can take them with you.
Right.
Yeah, the ones that I've made, I bought 4 foot by 8, 4 foot wide by 8 foot tall foam core from the framing shop, and then I got them home and I've taped them, and that thing is just trash, but I've used it forever.
Yeah.
So anyway, so this is where I start. And then I'm just gonna take a light reading. A lot of people now say, well, I don't have to use a light meter, I can just look at the back of my camera. And you know, that's true, you can do that. I like getting it right the first time. Plus, I can tell what my background's gonna be like. All right, so that's shooting 4.5. So I will crank this up. Stop, two stop. I want to probably shoot this around F8 to F11. F9, so that'll work. And then what I normally do is I come in the back here. I'm going to see what my background's going to look like. That's almost too high. Right, so I'm shooting at F9, and my background now is at 4.5. So that should give me a pretty darker looking background. And then what I'll do is, if we have time, I'll strip that out and I'll put a textured background on it. And I think it should look pretty nice. So just from experience, I know that I'm going to need to have some fill on this side. So I'm just going to start probably right here. You know, I didn't come up because I don't have the program open. You know, let me open that real quick.
Everybody see? Okay, good. What? Oh, sorry. A camera woman.
Oh, so much. That. Okay, that's done.
So this program is focused by.
This is focused by House of Blood, yeah. Normally I have a other hard drive that I shoot into, but we'll see what happens on this. This should work. Well. Okay. Oh, it's, yeah. You got my okay.
Yep.
All right, so that's not too bad for a first shot. Let's see, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff on the far side of the camera, so I'll bring this up now and get this in closer and see if we can't pick up some of the stuff on the shadow side. Normally at home, I'm on a studio stand, so I can move and I don't have to worry about my camera going all over the place and I don't have to refocus and all that stuff, but the adapter that goes onto this tripod is on my other camera at the house and I've got to take it off, so we'll just do it this way. See if that, I think that filled that side a little bit better. So you can see my horizon is horrible. But again, that's because I'm not on a tripod. But the nice thing about focus is you just with that and he will straighten it out for you every single time. And then I can take my crop tool and I can bring this in. Come on. So let's say the local magazine was doing an article about old cameras. So I would shoot it like this, and then this is what I would give them. Now they have all this room on the left, put their type and anything they wanted to do on that. Like how we have our little highlights, or we're showing the where the Chrome is at and whatnot. I'm not too nuts about that. Cable, that's better cable. I don't know if I can take that off or not. I don't think I'm going to. Put that like that and shoot it again. See if that's better. And see how this automatically gives me the crop that I already had, and make sure that I'm level here. So. Now, what else can we do with this? Closer. Yeah, how is that?
So what focal length are you using?
This is a 120 macro, so with the medium format camera, it's probably 75 or so millimeters.
Do you have to have big, light like that, or can you use speed lights, or?
You can use speed lights. The problem with using speed lights is that they don't give a lot of power out.
Right.
And so, I'll show you another way we can do this, but this just shows, I mean, that's just nice and clean. And
See it better. People on Zoom are gonna get dizzy. Sorry for all the moving, you Zoom people.
what's that?
I was apologizing to the Zoom people,
Oh,
because I'm showing them you and then the screen.
so you can see there's a lot of detail in that. And you can take this, if you want to, you can take it to the Photoshop or wherever. And let's see, like this one with that paper is white, but it's photographing like it's gray. And if we move that further back, it would really be a lot darker. Let me see here. Do this. This, I'll export this.
What?
Was it in there? I didn't see it, so. It's called Beats.
He's looking on his little screen while we should see the big screen. How easier.
I don't normally edit on my laptop. But get it close. Read your kids off. That came from Home Goods.
You can just get a couple of planks of stuff
Yeah,
from,
flooring.
yeah,
Yeah.
flooring and use that, yeah. Looks nice. This was F11, is that what you said?
This is, was that, I started at 9.5, but I ended up shooting this at 8.
Oh. But now you're gonna add a texture?
Put this on, yeah. This is pretty cool. Microphone's voices
What?
Microphone's voices you can say, and we're gonna do this. And then do this. Yeah.
Trying different blend modes to see which one looks the best.
Yeah, I'll just go to the blood nose and see which one's looking better than. I don't really like it. Just because that.
There we go.
That way. Because that white paper was, if it was gray, it would have done better the other way around. All right, now I'm good.
So now he added the layer mask.
Yeah, I'll add a layer mask and I'm gonna take what all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of the texture on the table and on the camera. Like I said, I normally do this on my 47-inch iMac. So
What's your tool of choice for editing? The mouse or a tablet?
I use my mouse. I've got a tablet. I've never learned how to use it yet. So it's in the closet, in the box, waiting to be used.
I don't think anybody in this room would have that.
People are like, you can do that with your mouse?
Yeah, well, do not, full time, here, just try.
But anything not, yeah, we don't. Here you go. So I'm just gonna get. Do that.
It's like,
Make this one here. That's a quick way to do that one. And so this is what we started with. This happened. That just adds a little more texture to it. You know, if I was at home in front of the camera, in front of my regular computer and whatnot, and had more time, I'll spend more time doing that. Let's do this other one real quick. Anybody have any questions about what we've done so far?
What's the lowest shutter speed?
Probably one 25th, that's usually what I shoot at.
If this is a flat.
I would,
If you had static.
these are all, on the house blocks are all leaf shutters, so I can shoot it at leaf shutters if I want. I can shoot it at 200 to 2000 of a second, or I could, so that, but normally, like when I'm shooting with my Nikon here, I'm at 125, that's where I normally shoot when I'm shooting this studio. The Nikons will go up to 230, I think, or 250. 320 is the max.
With strobe,
Uh,
with the strobe.
yeah, with strobe, yeah. But this was, yeah, 1/125th of a second, and that was it. This particular one was at ISO 100 at f8. Let's see if we can do something for this. Killing myself. Instead of run, I have at home, I have beeswax. And that really helps a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You put it on the bottom and then it will open it up. See what I have.
Helen asks, are there any tricks to deal with light reflection glare?
The light reflection. It's the angle of where
The
the light
90-degree
hits.
angle.
What is it? Angle of incidence equals angle of reflection. It's just like shooting somebody's who wears glasses. You got to get out of that zone where the two cross.
Right.
And normally that's not, it's not hard to do. Sometimes it can be a real pain.
Didn't you say you typically like to go from the side and the back, so there's typically not reflection on the front, right?
Right. But when you're shooting bottles, I mean, anything that's behind you that the glass sees, it will reflect.
Yeah.
So in my garage, I've got windows in the door. So I've got to go up there and I've got black
Paper
stuff and I hang it.
Yep.
To black that out. I also have a bunch of crap up in the rafters. So all of that will reflect too. See what we can do with this thing here.
For him to use for his thing.
Yeah, you want some gum?
Got some gum, sure.
And he's like, sure.
Andy, that's better than wax.
Good idea, Fred.
Helen wants a piece of gum.
That's right. We'll get rid of that Photoshop.
So our savers.
Did you hear Andy? He saved you some.
Better has to make some cereal, some in trouble.
Stick out like sort of gum, that's all right. So let's do it this other way now. Where we won't use these.
Oh my God, it's Fred.
Good to see it a little bit better.
Is it ABC gum? What does that mean?
Already been chewed.
Oh.
What's the fabric on your screen here?
That's ripstop nylon from, what is that called?
Joann's?
Joann's, thank you very much. The only problem with that is the biggest size they make is, 6 feet by about 4 feet or so. You can't get any bigger. So you're kind of limited, but that's all right. But if you go to Autorama or if you go to B&H Photo and buy one pre-made, you can spend up to $600.
No, I can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, good.
instead of PVC pipe and
So
some
that's
ripstop.
exactly what I'm.
Yeah,
Yes,
That's pretty genius.
but so again, the thing that you want to do is you want to try to fill most of the scrim with the light. So we got this here, and this is gonna go, it's gonna hit the scrim, it's gonna get a little bit bigger. And the light should be close to the same, it might be a little hotter. So let me find my light meter. Yeah, that's right at 11. That's hotter. So another thing you can do, say you wanted that to be a little lower, or if you wanted to add a little more confusion. This is basically tracing paper. And this comes in all different sizes. And can you slide that on for me? If you're shooting glassware or wine bottles or whiskey bottles or anything like that, this stuff is amazing because it will knock the highlight down better than just about anything else out there.
Mm.
How much light do you lose? Well, we'll see right now. Almost a full stop. So,
so it's like thicker than parchment paper. It's
yeah. I believe Filters makes it, but you can get like 6 foot lengths, but it's kind of expensive. So I just bought this 4 foot length and I think it's 18 feet and I haven't cut any off yet. Because all it does is hang.
It's
But there's sometimes if there's a really bad highlight that you can't get rid of, that's where this will come in. And I was doing a shot where I had a bottle and I had a light over my head acting as a fill light, and the fill was giving me just this bright spot, and I couldn't get rid of it no matter what I did. And I brought this out, put this in front of that light, and it was gone. Little smaller camera, so we use a little smaller fill card here.
Does that make a difference?
If
If you were using a big one?
You know, this is just gonna fill everything, and if I put it this way, you're just wasting a lot of it. You know, more of it's gonna go back around over the top. So we'll just do this and get a little highlight right here. And you guys, we're gonna see the green underneath the gun. But we'll have to get rid of that, later on in Photoshop.
Helen has the best view.
Now we kind of got a graduation, get me. Sorry about that. There we go. So we kind of have a little graduation, on the background, but I'm gonna make that background nice and dark. And this is. Get rid of that, those of that, still like.
Aha.
As a flag, there's not son of a dog. So yeah, forgive me for the green, you can go on there, but we heard of that later. But look, we got this really nice highlight that goes across the top. Same here, we don't really have any glare in the lens or the little viewfinder. Got a nice highlight coming down this end, and we actually have a highlight coming down over here. So we'll go in Photoshop, we'll get rid of that green deal. My horizon is okay. So like I said, these two things are pretty easy to do, and I didn't want to bring a bottle because we could spend 2 hours and then I may not even be very done.
Yeah.
So, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, when you're shooting something that you want more clean, how do you deal with dust, hearing on those things and?
White gloves and wipe everything down first. And then, if it's really bad, you use the Photoshop and you're there for a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dust and despeckle will work, but you gotta be careful with that because that will start to make your image soft as well. If you're shooting if you're shooting glassware, shoot that on plexiglass that's nice and clean, and light the plexiglass, and that in turn lights up the glassware, and that really looks nice. So just little tricks.
Also found that makeup brushes actually, get rid of dust pretty well on like crevices and stuff.
Yeah, if you have a client that's sending you stuff, they're usually getting the prime that they have, and, you know, they will send you, like, if you're gonna shoot some wine for them, they'll send you more than one bottle, because a lot of times, you know, labels are crooked and stuff. So if you can get them to send you the bottle and then the label, then you just put the label on there, nice.
Do you have all your own glassware too for all those shoots then too?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah.
I do spend a lot of time in the antique places. And I get a lot of bottles. I got this, it looks like, Western art from like New Mexico. And so then I found this, Mexican, blanket that had all these really vibrant colors on it. And these, I was at the swap meet and they had this big thing of chilies for $5. I said, all right. So I made salsa.
There you go.
And I thought that, and that was really, really good. So, but that's kind of, we gotta be out of here by 8, right?
Yeah, we're totally fine.
Yeah, no, I'm just worried about taking this stuff back out of the by 8.
Oh, yeah, there's.
So,
We have more hands to.
yeah, we do have one. Um,
Or do you use ice in the whiskey and stuff? Or do you
so
use
for ice, I went to, yeah, and you can find this stuff online.
The fake ice.
And you can buy plastic ice. The really good stuff are like $500 a piece.
What?
Yeah,
That's
it
crazy.
looks really nice.
$500.
Yeah,
I guess if you have a client. that's
yeah,
doing
yeah,
it,
client is paying you big time bucks.
Yeah,
But at Michael's, I found a little jar about this big that has these little, crystal looking ice cubes that work just fine. I've never had anybody complain. So,
I got the $500 glass ice at the LPA Christmas party last year.
there you go.
Sure did.
yeah,
So that picture of the whiskey that you had, and then I used that to speak.
that was the fake ice cubes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because what happens is, you know, like I said, that particular shot, I started that and it took me about 2 months before I finally got it the way I wanted it.
Whew.
And it was just working and getting things right. And I never tore the set down because I would throw my hands up, and say, ah. And
Wow.
that, what I actually did is I took a piece of foam core and I cut it just a little bit smaller in the same shape as the bottle of Gentleman Jack. And so you light that and that reflects through the whiskey and lights the whiskey up. And, but you have to do the same thing with if you're using a glass, because you have to light that one too. So you have 2 of those and you have to make it so you don't see it in the shot. So it's just setting up everything and moving and setting it up and moving. White wine is about the same because you have to show that it's white. They don't really care too much on the red wine because, like I said, it photographs dark. But you can put a red filter on one of your lights and just have a hint of red going down the side of the bottle, and it gets the mind to think, hey, this is a red wine. Rosé, you can kind of see through that, so you can light that. I don't think, let me see here. I don't think I put it in the presentation, but I have a shot. Yeah. Well, that's a bottle of Absolute vodka, and I use Magic spray and the mixture of water and glycerin, and I sprayed the bottle, and that how you get it to look like it's sweating. So it's like, a lot of people like to keep their vodka in the freezer. And then when you take it out, and so that's what this one was like. And then here's the shot without it. It's a little cleaner.
What's matting spray?
So like when you want to mount something on,
Oh, okay.
so
The glue.
it's kind of, but it doesn't stick that well to the bottle because you can clean the bottle afterwards.
Right.
But if you don't put that on, just put the glycerin on first, that's gonna run.
Right.
So that spray just kind of keeps it in place and it'll stay there for a day or two. And then you just go take the bottle and rinse it off. But see, this one's clean. But I was still able to get the glue to come up of the guy's face there on the top of the bottle. It's very important that all that stuff shows up. And this was, like I said, a one light setup, 2 black cards on either side, and the light was coming through the scrim, and the bottle was right up against the scrim.
So it was coming from behind
From behind,
the scrim.
yeah, that's a clear bottle. The only thing you have to do is you have to take the label on the back, you gotta take it off.
Oh, yeah.
And you should do that with any time you shoot any product like that, because it's, otherwise it shows.
Right.
And you spend a lot of time in Photoshop cleaning it, or it's better just to goo be gone, spray it for 20 minutes and peel it off, then wash the thing up.
Huh. Interesting.
So you said there's decent amount of like trial and error then with how you like the
Yeah,
product.
so like,
Or do you go into something like knowing in your head exactly how you shoot it?
well, now, because I've been doing it for a while,
Like what are the changes that you make over the course of like that 2-month shoot? Was it lighting related or?
it was all lighting, and just getting the lighting right. This one, a friend of mine worked with this company that is what they do. They sell this gorilla stuff. And so they wanted a shot with that, and that was on that piece of plexiglass that I made. And then, on the whiteboard, and then he wanted it to kind of glow in the background, so that's just another light that's, focused on a piece of paper. And it's not getting any of the light, so that looks black, and then the other light pops. And then they asked me if I could,
Gel or just the light through the paper?
what's that? That's a gel coming off the light onto the paper. And then they asked if I could put it in the little gun thing, so I said, sure. And that's hanging from this, boom arm with fishing line.
Huh.
And of course, every time you go, you move, then it just starts doing this.
Yeah. You're like,
Okay, everybody don't breathe, you
Yeah.
know, and you get it to stop, but, you know, they love it, so. That was all right.
so the goal is to have the reflections where you want them,
What do you want?
not where they just end up.
This one here, I don't think I'll look and see if I have it.
How do you get the companies to notice you and start sending work like
You send out a lot of flyers that go in their hand, brag.
Yeah.
But you know what, all you need is one or two to call you. And if you do a good job, they call you back.
You post on Instagram and tag them.
Well, yeah, you can do that, but the problem with that is you gotta do it every day, and
Yeah.
I'm not good at doing that, I forget. You know, these people that follow me, I just, why are they following me? I haven't posted anything for months. This one, I couldn't get the gradient on this bottle on the left-hand side that I wanted, and it took me a long time, and that's when I discovered this other paper. And that really, as soon as I did it, and when I shoot a bottle like this, I use the strip boxes. Because, you know, they're vertical, nice and long. And if you don't have a strip box, and if all you have is a soft box like this, you can tape off
Right.
sections of it. And then you just have the little strip. And, but that was with, the strip box with the grid going, it was double diffused like it is here. And then on the other side, I just had a nice large white card, and that's what gives me the little grading on the right side of the bottle.
So dark stuff, you tend to make light reflections on the sides, and white stuff, you make darker reflections.
Right. It's all like Tony Corbell says, it's all about light and shadow. Um, I sort of- I can't, I don't have those organized here.
Any more questions? Is everybody gonna go home and get out their bottle of Coke or whatever? My Fresca can.
This was a fun one here with the marbles.
Oh, that's cute.
And that's, again, this side light going through that, and it was in a glass, like a, brandy glass. That's what the marbles were. That was before that one broke.
And did you take it from the side through the glass or from the
No,
top?
I just took it from the top. It's an totally overhead shot. Yeah. This is from the top as well. This was the second one. This glass didn't break.
Mm.
This is the one that broke.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, and so the other shot, I'm just right on top, on top of it with the camera shooting straight down on it. But the problem with that is one little bump of the table.
Yeah.
Marbles all over the place. The deer, you want, how many do you want that glass in here?
What?
You didn't want the brandy sticker.
No.
No. So this is one I want to show you here. So that's a black matted bottle that the wine people use. And it has no label. And then we actually had already finished that bottle. So because normally when I shoot wine bottles, they haven't been opened, but this one said, they said, well, what can you do if we already have I said, oh, we'll just put the cork in it. And then I put the wine glass behind it. And I think that's Pedialyte. Actually, that's in there. But you never know,
No.
right?
It was, did you use the blue
And this
gel?
one took a while because I didn't want to get a real big highlight on the glass on the left-hand side. I do have a little bit there. But it worked out pretty well. I wanted the shape of the wine bottle to come down to the stem of the glass. And so this is one of those with this setup exactly like this is. And what I did is I just moved the light. I kept moving it back like this until I had it in the right spot. And then, of course, I had to put a flag up because I kept getting the bleed over on the paper.
Right.
So once I did that, I just put a little gel on the background, and it turned out really nice.
Do you put anything on the foods that you photograph too?
Do I do what?
Do you put anything on the foods that you photograph, like those peppers?
No, I try, the thing with food is they want it to be as clean as it can be. Sometimes, you put glycerin on it and whatnot. But like if you're shooting ice cream, you really can't put anything on there and you have to work quick.
Yeah.
But if you're you're advertising the bowl that the ice cream's in, then you don't have to use ice cream. You just use whatever it is, that's not
Fake
false
ice cream.
advertising. But,
Fake ice cream,
yeah. Well, they had stuff that, you know,
wax.
stays warm forever. Um,
What about like steam on coffee? Do you use the real steam from the coffee or do you add that in?
I use a real steam. The thing with coffee is you have to have the bubbles going around. If
Yeah.
you don't have the bubbles, then it's just like a black something. So you can do, sometimes I've even used fog machines for that. And you get a little fog coming up. And because when you photograph it, you don't know if it's right coming off the coffee or from behind it.
Right,
And usually coffee doesn't steam a whole lot.
yeah, that's true.
So, but like I did one of a spoonful of peas. And I added the steam to it and it looked really, really good. I thought it looked all right. With just peas on a spoon, and my wife said, make it look like they're steaming hot. Turned out pretty good.
Okay, well, we should probably kind of close it up so that
Yeah.
we can get everything.
Yeah, and so it just, you know, it just takes, you just practice.
Yes.
And right when COVID started, my daughter got sick with COVID on, New Year's Eve. Came over to pick up the kids, my grandson, and we probably talked for about 5 minutes. And 2 weeks later, I was sick as could be. I was really sick. And so, once I started feeling better, I got tired of being in my bedroom all day long. So that's when the studio really became permanently in the garage, because I used to shoot in the living room. But when I had COVID, I just would go out there all day long and I would work and I would shoot, work and shoot. And that's where it got, I went from here to here and it keeps going up. And I'm winning awards now for the work that I do. And I'm getting people to hire me. So I must be doing the right thing, because
Yeah,
otherwise it wouldn't be happening. So,
cool.
all right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.